Welcome, Verona, and welcome to everyone following online. Please welcome me in applauding Maya Shavin on the stage. Speaker, a veteran of the scene. She was in Verona in 2018 too. That's where we met. I've been told that she's fond of moving around with trains, so fond that decided to miss her stop and almost didn't reach Verona.
Yep, that's true.
Let me just leave the stage to Maya. Everything is ready?
Yeah, I guess so. Everyone here have coffee, breakfast, food. Well, unfortunately, I haven't had breakfast, so if my stomach make any weird sound, please excuse me. Okay. Okay, so I'm so happy to be here at the first speaker and talking about how to visualize your state management. How many people here use state management? So the rest, you never have to deal with state management in your application? That's cool. And how many of you ever use XState? Oh, great. So this talk is for you. But before that, as Nicole said, I just want to tell you my personal experience from yesterday as a reflex. So yesterday, I planned my trip ahead. I got to the I got to the plane, I checked in, I got on the plane, everything is way done well. I reached here, I got to the stations, I got to the train also, I reached to the station, and instead of continue all the way to reach the hotel, I got to the wrong station. And then I have to do a detour, go back to two stations, and then I still got the wrong station. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. So at that point, I need to transit to a different plan. I go on bus. After 3 bus, I finally reached the hotel. And this is that's what I call my experience in Verona applications. And this is the transition of different page. I'm on check-in page, I arrive by air, and then I move to the train page. In the end, a little bit detour and stay in the bus for a little bit long, but I reached the final stage, reached the hotel. And this is actually a state diagram. It's a state diagram of my own application. Well, now let's come to the next questions. So what exactly is state management? Who can answer me? Raise your hand, please. Come on, you just have your coffee. Don't be quiet. Well, state management is anything that have to do with state in your applications. Either you have to control a forms control state, which means whether you submit the form, whether you type any input field correctly, or where you have an error state or so on. Anything inside the form is the form state management. Or you have a gallery, where it have a lot of pizza item on top, and you have to manage how the user click on each button. What will happen? That's the state. When the user click on the add to cart, add to favorite, and so on, and how the user scroll up and down, whether you want to do virtual scrolling, pagination, and so on and so forth, a different grid. Or even something simple, just to a loading screen where it stops in the middle. Well, when they talk about state management, I would want to say there's two different kind of state management. The first one, as you can see, manage the condition of the app or a component of features at the given period of time, which means my personal app, Travel in Verona, the state management of that is the management between the transition from the check-in point to arrive to the hotel. And of course, in the middle, you have some plan P if that doesn't work. That's the state management. Or the second kind of state management here is how you keep consistency with the data flow of the whole application. We call it data state management, which is you're probably very familiar with that if you're using Pina or Vuex or Fluence or any data management here. And this is This means that if the user click on 3 items in the gallery, you would either display a button on top of your header saying that there's 3 items in cart or 3 items in favorite, depending on how you want it to appear. But everything in your application have to be consistent, so the user won't feel weird when they use the applications. Okay, let's look at another diagram. We know what is state management. So let's look at this diagram. I'll call this state diagram is your conference experience. When you reach to the conference, you feel tired. If you feel tired, you want to probably head to the coffee counter there and get some coffee, right? Or you're hungry, then you probably get here. Oh, I'm hungry. You get here and get some croissants here, some snack here. And then all you see the Tetris outside, and you're like, okay, I want some swag from Storyblok. Let's head over there and play some game and get the swag. Any of these actions interchangeably, which means you can move from drink coffee to have a snack after you finish the coffee. Or you can also move from drink coffee to take swag. However, you all have to come back here to listen to my talk. Why? Because that's the conference and I'm the speaker. Anyway, so this is the whole experience of a conference for you, specifically in Verona. And this is also a state diagram. And this state diagram is used to answer one specific question. What will happen what will the apps react? How does the app react? How does the app react if something happens? How do you react when your body tells you that you're feeling hungry? How do you react when you saw a set of logo waiting for you to claim? This what we call events and state or behaviors. So the state diagram divided into 2 parts. The states, which is how the app reacts, how you react, how I react when something happens. And something happens is the event that caused us to move from one state to another state. And this is exactly the concept of state machines. You have state machine is a machine. It's what it does is handling state. What it does, what it have is have a number of finite of states. Regardless how many states you have in the middle, you know that exactly you have the beginning point and the ending point have at least 2 states. You reach to the conference and you enter the talk. In the middle, you probably have more states like drinking coffee, eating breakfast, talking to friends, or you remove some state out of that. It doesn't matter. But the number of states you know, and it's not in infinity. So everything is finite state. And the second thing is always transition between one state to another using using event. There's no other way to move from you reach your conference to drinking coffee without you feeling like you want to have a coffee. That's simple as that. You don't want to drink coffee just because it's a coffee, right? You need to have something to cause it. And lastly, data control. When you move from one state to another, let's say, for example, you're drinking coffee, your stomach actually receive data, which is the coffee. Or you're eating breakfast, your stomach receive new data, which is breakfast that you eat. It make you full. Or you get in fact that your new data in the context of the state machine is the swag that you receive. You control the data by taking actions. You go to the booth to play Tetris in order to get the swag. Playing Tetris is the actions that will trigger at the side effect of all this event transitioning. And let's take another look at the simpler and not any conflict, not any app. This is the diagram of fetch. You know fetch, right? Okay. So in fetch, we have one starting state, which is idle state, where you don't do anything, you don't fetch any data. And then when's the moment the user trigger fetch, which means the trigger the event fetch, you move into loading state. And then when y is well loading state, once the fetch finish receiving data, if it's success, it's fire back the event say result. Then we move to the success state, which is the final state of the fetch machine. Come out, get the data, move on. Otherwise, it will fire a recheck event and tell you that the fetch machine received move to a failure state. And depends on how you want the fetch to work. It can either go back to the loading state and try to do a retry. And this is how the state machine of fetch look like. Now the next question is, how are we going to translate this into actual code? This is actually the valid questions every time when you receive a new features from your product managers or from your customer. How are you going to put it into code? In the other way, behind the scene, what actually happened here is how many lines of if else or switch case are you going to write in order to cover every single case in the specifications? Well, you can do that, or you can just simply build a state machine that using XState. This is XState, the main goal here. And XState, I don't know why they name it X, probably X for awesome, for like number 10. And XState is the JavaScript state machine library that will help you to create state machines out of the box. And it comes with an ecosystem with visualizer and editor, so you can visualize your state machine flow while you're coding. And to install it, you just need to do npm install XState, and they have a package for Vue. So how we using XState in actual code? We take the fetch example for example. So here we're using the method called create machines to create a new state machine. And we set, no, come on, okay. We set the initial state of idle, right? We also have some context, but that's the side work. And then we have an object of state. Each field of this object is a state configuration. So for example, idle, you will have, why it doesn't, on fetch, it will move to loading. Or in loading state, you will see there's two events here. On result, it will move to success, and on reject, it moves to failure. And because success is the last state, we have the type final, which at this point, the state machine knows that its life ends. And that's it, it cleans up the state. If you want to start the fetch machine again, you have to start the machines, and it will give you a new clean state to start with. And failure, on failure state, you can retry, because we want to add some data control in this state. So we, instead of mapping the state directly to the event, we map in the object that configuration of the event where you define the target at loading, and the actions will be assigned new data to the field retries in the context of the state machines. And that's it. You have the fetch machine. Now it works. Any bugs here that you can see? I guess you don't. I also don't see any bug here. But again, what next? Demo. Well, I know that you probably look at this and think, okay, so what? Seeing is believing. So let's do some demo, shall we? Well, live demo is always hard. Okay, so wait a moment. So what we do right now is we will build a checkout machines where we will render a wizard for each step of the checkout process. And then we will see the machines, we visualize the state machines for each step. And each step, let's say we have review and shipping, billing, and payment, and final confirm of the order. And for some steps, such as address, shipping, and payment, we will have some guarding, which is we block the moving to the next one unless the user agree on terms and conditions, or the user provide a valid shipping address. And finally, we're going to see how we're going to auto-generate the flow, the visualization of these machines for us, for the record. Okay, let's start. Yeah, so I have already, this is an application. It's for a pizza, and yes, I have Hawaiian pizza here. I know it's Italy, so I know you guys don't like pineapple pizza, but bear with me. Okay, so this is the pizza, and I have a card here, and every time when I add an item to the card, it would tell me, add item to the card, it would tell me, I can click here, and I see the card, and I can make the order, where it will tell me, this is the checkout machine, the checkout UI, and now I need to implement that. Okay, let's see, we have time, yeah. And so this is the checkout machines. And in these checkout machines, I have a context where I have a card, and I have a shipping address. I also have shipping method, billing address, and a Boolean say whether it's user agree to term or not, and a payment method. On the state, I already define in advance that several state: review, shipping, billing, payment, and success. And yes, I don't have failure because I don't want to have failure for making order. I want the user have to pay me. So anyway, so let's start. So on review, each of these state, we're going to implement the very first event. We want to be able to move when click on next. If we in review, we click on next, we move to shipping. If we're on shipping, we click on next, we move into billing, and so on. And on the second step onwards, we also have a previous button, which means if we send an event to move, we can move back to the previous state as part of the process. So in the on, I'm going to do next. I love Copilot. Yep. I know what it does to me. Okay. And then here, I'm going to do next. Let's see if it understands. Nope, it's not shipping method. Thank you, but you are stupid. No, sorry. And now next, I'm going to, for billing, I also have next. And it's going to, for billing, go to payment. Okay. And then if you see the meta field here, it's just the metadata for debugging later on with XState. It will tell you exactly what is this state meant to be and what we're going to do with this. So this is not confirmed. This is success. And so on. Great. Now I have this on of this right here, and now I'm going to do a previous. No, I don't have a previous for review because this is the first one. Great. And then I'm doing preview and shipping and payment billing and so on. The type success doesn't need it. Great. Now I have all of this. So next on let's go to the review page and see if we need anything. So in preview, I only use the card, nothing much. Okay, so I don't have to modify anything here. But let's say if I'm in shipping and I'm moving to billing, I want to trigger the actions to assign the shipping address, to save the shipping address to my context of the state machine. So here I need to do a bit of change. So I'm going to change to target. And I'm going to, do you see this? Okay, the size okay? Okay. So here, sorry. And then I'm doing, let's say, action. Okay, and then I'm still going to assign shipping. And I'm going to do shipping if I'm get the shipping correct. So now I'm assigned, I got the event. And in the event, have a payload of data. And then I will just assign it back to the shipping. Okay? And now, so I have the shipping. So this one thing. And in the second thing, if I'm going to billing and move to payment, I also want to make sure that I also assign some data here. So let's say target. Moving back, I don't need to clear anything. So target, assign, and billing. Do I do target? Okay. also the shipping method. Okay, this is one thing. And also, here you go. Am I correct? No. Yeah, great. And finally, the payment, and yeah, so on. Let's take a look how it's go. Check out. So now in here, if I move next, I will have two options, and then I can choose one of them, and I can move the next. And of course, I can move next, and not in here where it's break because some of the things here are not implemented. Okay, let's go back to. I don't save it. Okay, come here. Okay, when you change next, great. However, if you select here, then you move next, and it will be saved. Now the question is, if I want to, if I don't want to save only when I click on next, because something might happen in the middle, I want to update before I want to save the shipping before I want to save the shipping on select here, and I don't want to store it somewhere in the component. Like, why do I need to store in the component, right? So in that case, I create a new event in the shipping. I call it update shipping and shipping address, I think. Shipping address, okay. And then I will do actions. Same thing, because this event, I want it to stay in the same place, so I don't put any target. Then I will do shipping, and I merge whatever that was, yep. And I merge whatever the shipping before with the new shippings. Why is that address? Okay, shipping, no. I'll just context.shipping. And then event.data. Okay, great. And now I also need to update the shipping method, which is, and then shipping method. Okay, action assign, and then I'm going to do action like this. Great, now let's go to the shipping. Okay. And then you can see here template. I already set here the shipping address, and I check if the shipping address is selected in order to move, and it's selected shipping method and set the shipping method, and whether I want to use the same building or not. Okay, and then here what I'm doing here is that I already have a use checkout machine, which I very simple. I'm just use actor. Okay, from XState. This is the composable using. This is the composable using composition API. So you can create your own instance of the checkout machine, and just start interpret is how we're going to get the instant service from the machines we created, and we need to start the service in order for the machine to start running. And then we use actor to take part of it, and this way it will save us from updating a whole app. It will just update part of it, which is more relevant. And okay, so let's go back to the shipping, and let's just, when you use the checkout machine, it will return to you two things. The first thing is the state, current state of the machine, and the second thing is the send event, that you will trigger the event to the machine to move from one state to another. So let's send the event. Well, this is called update shipping address, and then we're going to address. I think it's supposed to be data. Let's see if I'm got correctly. Oh no, sorry. Checkout machines. Just to make sure that I don't remember exactly if it's data or date is just event. Okay, so let's go back here, and we have the shipping address. Great. Now let's just move back to the UI. Oh no, what do I do? Checkout machine create. I probably do something stupid here. No. Ah, absolutely. Wait. This is why working with the. So where did I miss? What? Where is it? Ah, shipping method here. Oh, yep. Thank you. You sharp. Okay, now it's here, but I don't have anything. So never mind. Let's just move on and test it. So you can have here the shipping address, and let's just see. Let's just inspect and see it on the console log, and we can have the shipping address, and then we have the prototype anyway. So that doesn't help me so much. And so let's say machine, and I log here the data to see if I have a data, and let's see. Undefined, huh? Oh, so cute. And then I have a data. You know what? I have to use this data. Okay, so no data. And that's the shipping address here. So if I'm in the input, I change. Oh, it's called shipping. What the hell? So I call it shipping method, not shipping address. So do I ever use shipping address here? I do. I just change it. Okay. No, that's good. That's good. Okay, so shipping update, shipping address, data. Okay. So let's see. I tell you what, I just don't want to save my life. And I'm going to do an event. Yeah, event address. So I was correct. Why the? Let's just do it like this. Supposed to be update shipping address. Just to make sure that I'm doing correctly. Event and then event address. See if it's work. Let's just do it again. Undefined, my life. Okay, so let's put this way and go here. Anyway, let's just start with other things first. You know what? I'll just change it back to the normal one. I have everything safe. Oh, oh my God. I forgot that the send you have to pass it. If you pass more than one parameter, you have to pass it in an object. That's the reason why. Oh, yep. Anyway, so here you have the send, and here you have to update shipping address. Okay? And then here you also check, we have to stay. Here we also check if the shipping method is correct. And then when we will do update shipping method. And here we have the method. We can also do data, and then it's value, and then here, Susan billion. Okay, so here this is another, the type meaning the event type. Okay, and then let's go here, and we don't need this one, and event data, and billion, no. So we need another one called use what? Using billion, yes. Using billion, action assign, no. And return context. And again, that's it. Great. Now you have the shipping address, and let's try again. And then you can have here, and then you select it. Now you can, when you select it, you see you have the shipping address appear. Now you can use using the billing address, and then you can choose the shipping address, and then now you can move to the next page, which is billing. And now in billing, same thing. So in billing, you also have to have update the billing address here. So we will do also update billing address and billing context return. what? Okay. And nope, I think this is not correct. Building. So it's for building, and then this one was just address. Okay, let me see if it's correct, and then we go into the building, and we see the state here, update email and update phone. So we do this cons update. Okay, I run out of time, so I hopefully I will finish this part, and then the rest I will just copy paste. So I have update building mail and update building fund, and you got the idea. And then now I'm going to the checkout machine. Instead of doing everything, I'll just go in here and rewrite update bill. Got it. Update building email. No, I don't want this so long name. Just update mail and update phone. Great. Save, copy, and checkout. Then here I update email. Then I'm here. I will do context. No, not context. Dot building, and then I'm doing here event email. Okay. And the second thing is update phone sign. And that's it. Nope, I still need to have this part. And so on. Okay, great. Now I should be able to go to the last one. And next, Yofi, still in the building. Anyway, so shipping, previous payment. So you got an idea. So now I have this as our thing. So just because I have so much, I don't have enough time. So let's just take everything here and as phone. Okay, great. Now I'm just doing select methods and agree to term and conditions. So here I'm going to the checkout machines and I'm going to the payment. Okay, and I'll go here and also I'm adding some guard. And I'm adding a guard to conditions to be able to, for the state machines to move forward. And go on. Right. I agree to term. And by the way, just reset everything to it correct. No, correct. And reset confirmation, discard, payment, discard. Now it should work. Anyway, let's see. And next, choose, you choose, next, go. I agree term and condition. You see here I need to enable it. So, and oh yeah, payment. So where's the payment? Agree to term. Yes, stay. Payment method selected. Anyway, just check. Anyway, so you got the idea. So once you set the guardian, and if you change directly, you can move to the next one, and you can move to the confirm. Since we don't have time, so let's go back to the and this is how the diagram of the state machine will look like, and how you're going to do it. You go to the visualizer. They have a very nice one. You just copy the code of your machines, paste it here. It will generate for you. Thing is that you can also do simulating by you click on next and shipping and notify. So you need to, it will tell you what you need to do in order to move to the next state. And when you do it, you can also click on the event and then move to the next state, and then you can see the demonstrate how the flow looks like. And lastly, yep, looking at that kind is a lot. The code is a lot, so it's better to put it in the visualizer, and then you can see it face to face, and everyone can understand what you mean. And XState is great, it's cool. And you can also visualizer, which is here we have a visualizer, here we have the editor. So you can state A, so we have a state code off, and I have a state code on, and I have an event code toggle. And let's say and here I want to have an event code also a toggle. This is a toggle event. And great, now I can do limits. And now I can do simulate. I click on the toggle, and then you can see I'm in the on, and now I have an event to click on the toggle, and it moved back to the previous one. And if you want to extract this to your code, you can just copy the JSON, JavaScript or TypeScript, copy this, and paste in your code. And you have the machines ready for you to use. And that's it. This is the editor. Finally, start to plan first. Don't be like me in the live demo. And resource, you can check out about XState. It's a very cool project. I really like it. We use it in productions and a lot of products, and it's really helped all the product managers, the team, to understand what exactly the machine's doing and how you can identify bugs. Because if you add a state inside, you don't have to test the whole machine. You only need to test that specific state, the connection between the previous state to that state, and from that state to the next state. So you keep the code isolated. And this is me. I'm a senior software in Microsoft. And thank you very much for joining my talk. Okay. Sorry.
Thank you, Maya. Is there any question on the public for Maya?
No questions? So everyone understand what I said so far? Or oh yeah, great. I expect question though.
Okay. Hi. How do you manage the API calls between the state transitions, if it's needed?
Basic, like you mean asynchronous API call? How you manage it? Like, can you elaborate a bit more? Like, what exactly you mean by that?
If between a state transition you have to post some data to save it in a database with an API, how do you manage the API calls success or failure in the state machine events?
Basically, the state machine, you can do the asynchronous code, so you can add some side effect on the state transitions. I didn't show here, but there was, when you create a service instance, they provide you a method called on transition. And on transitions from, let's say, state A to state B, you can add the asynchronous functions to save the data to the database and continue on with the process of update and moving from one stage to another. Or you can also do it directly inside the state machine by adding another middle transition state. So let's say if I'm in making order, for example, and in order for me to move to success, I need to trigger a call to communicate to the server to submit the order, right? So when I send the request to submit the order, I move back to an internal state in the state machine called submitting. And when this state result, it will just automatically transit to the submit. So you have a small state in a nested state in the middle that you would not even need to trigger any event. It will automatically invoke and automatically move to the next one when it's done.
Thank you. I will look the documentation.
Okay. Yep.
Any more questions?
Seems no, so let's transition to the only next state possible. Another big round of applause for Maya.
Thank you.